Our next speaker is a familiar face to most of us, and he's a wonderful, strong advocate for life sciences here in Indiana. In fact, his landmark legislation in 2022, the CHIPS and Science Act, became law, which unleashed significant investments to advance key sectors, including life sciences. This past July, the Biden administration awarded 14 states a combined $500 million for 12 new tech hubs. Our own tech hub, Heartland Bioworks, received $51 million to develop, in part, a new training facility at 16 Tech Innovation District to train the next generation of biomanufacturing employees to support the growth of our ecosystem. Through his work on the CHIPS Act, Senator Young has paved the way for a renaissance in the American industrial base in key strategic sectors, including microelectronics, telecommunications, clean energy, and biotechnology. His leadership is helping foster a stronger infrastructure for our sector in life sciences and for our companies to develop life-saving therapies and devices right here in the Hoosier State. It's my honor and pleasure to welcome Senator Todd Young. Senator.
Well, thank you, Vince, and it's good to see everyone. This is an impressive group. Certainly has been attentive. The last panel was great, so thank you for having me here today. And I'll just build a bit on some things that Vince already touched on in his introduction. Everyone here is concerned about the health of our state. When we think about health, I think most of us, of course, think about our human health, perhaps even animal health if you're in the ag sector. I'm going to talk a bit about economic health and where it meets human health. In Indiana, we want our citizens to have access to the types of careers in the life sciences industry that will incentivize them to stay here, will incentivize great minds and hardworking people to relocate here. We've had some success with that in recent years, and I'm excited about the opportunities ahead. And so much of my concern about this has been animated by the desire to harness our existing core competencies and build on top of those wherever I can. Of course, working with others, as is required for any meaningful endeavor. In Indiana in particular, I think we have clearly been benefiting from the CHIPS Act, and coming off of this election, blessedly, we are through this process. But now we can hone in on further implementation of the CHIPS and Science Act. That's going to be a real priority of my office. So today I want to hone in on the Tech Hub portion, which Vince was kind to mention in the intro. Tech Hubs are my stab at ensuring that we start focusing more on democratizing opportunity across the nation. Much has been written and said. Not a lot of solutions that I regard as particularly weighty have been offered yet about addressing the unmet needs and unmet skills, the opportunity gap across the heartland. I'll be offering some more ideas, but I think this holds real promise. There are great ideas here in the Midwest, many of which, for various reasons, aren't getting due attention and due investment to help them scale and to help us grow. Too often the dollars to support ideas and talent flow to the coasts. We want that to continue to flow, but it helps, as we've learned through our own economic history, to prime the pump a bit. And that's what we intend to do through the Tech Hub program. So I was naturally encouraged when the Tech Hub application process began here in the state of Indiana. Hoosiers got to work, and we submitted a number of great ideas, and some of those were embraced by the EDA, which is an entity, the Economic Development Administration within the Department of Commerce. The Block Tech Hub. Some of you have perhaps heard about this if you're from Northwest Indiana, but Chicago has supercomputer assets, They've worked together with communities and other assets in the Northwest Indiana area, and they aim to create a quantum corridor. All sorts of life science applications could be imagined through harnessing quantum computing. There's a proposal out of the University of Notre Dame. It received a tech hub planning grant. Essentially, they aim to figure out how we can optimize our use and make more utility of the existing electromagnetic spectrum in this wired era. No doubt some application to the life science industry, in addition to all of our lives in various other ways. There's a proposal out of the University of Louisville, in the Louisville metro area, working with some Indiana partners. They received a planning grant for renewable energy innovation. But it always seemed to me like the most logical fit was putting our chips, no pun intended, behind the proven life sciences industry right here in central Indiana. We lead the nation in pharmaceutical exports. I expect this has been said today, right? Our med device industry is among the 5 largest in the country. We're home to the largest medical school in the United States. In IU Health, we have global names like Lilly, Corteva, Elanco. We'll have more global names, I expect, in coming years. Our bet paid off. Heartland BioWorks received funding. In fact, it received the highest level of funding in the nation for a tech hub, $51 million. So this will, as I indicated, continue to be a focus, making sure that we effectively implement this program now that it is in place, now that Hoosiers are benefiting from this program. I tell folks that legislating is not a fire and forget exercise, drawing on my Marine background. Implementation is more than half the battle sometimes. There are now many CHIPS Act skeptics, and believe it or not, there's some out there, who are celebrating the wins around the state. And that's in part because I'm on scholarship, but also you want to make a meaningful difference when you're in these jobs. That's been really encouraging. So go around the state, and everyone seems to be pretty happy about CHIPS generally and the Tech Hub program more specifically. Brings me right back to Hoosiers and our great state of Indiana. So the remarks in your program are titled Indiana Life Sciences Resurgence. Perhaps I'm being a little too specific here, but resurgence seems off to me. It implies that you ever took your foot off the gas, and it's been my experience that we're playing offense. And I'm excited about that. So Indiana, sometimes we get a reputation there's not enough swagger. We're too understated at times, and I sort of like that. Sometimes there's too much swagger in our public life, but for good reason here. We can back it up. And we've got tons of talent and more investment opportunities moving forward, and I just feel great about this industry. And BioCrossroads has been here promoting the industry relentlessly. Our R1 research institutions and our community college system are absolutely playing their part. They're training workers, setting a national example. Our government leaders have been incredibly supportive at every level. And so I'll end on this. Sometimes my job is to be a cheerleader, and I just want everyone to be really encouraged about this industry, about the perception of this industry. I have been inviting all kinds of people into the state. I had the ARPA H director here the other day. I am inviting colleagues in. I had the U.S. ambassador to India who was trying to forge more life sciences connection with our state. I had the head of the SK conglomerate from Korea focused on our state, and not only are they building a semiconductor fab, they're now looking at life science investments here in the state. So I'll continue to do my cheerleading externally, but just know that none of this would be possible if your work weren't there and I didn't have substance to share with people. So thank you so much for your focus on the health of the economy and the health of our population. And let's work together. If there are things I can do to enable your work more effectively and more energetically, don't hesitate to get in touch with my office. My cell number, for those who want it, is 812-320-3736. And my website is young.senate.gov. Thank you.